Hey guys, it's Marina with Artworthy Life, where I teach Christ-centered art journaling that gets you into God's Word every day. And I am so excited to welcome you to Artworthy Life again here, where we're going to be making an Irish journal page. So we've been doing some Irishy themed ones for St. Patrick's Day, but I really wanted to go ahead and do another one. My last name is Irish, so I can't get enough of this holiday. So I wanted to go ahead and do a little bit more in my journal page today. So I'm really excited to see you guys. Hey, Anita, thanks for being on. And just let me know if you can hear me well. I'm still working with this new platform, so I just want to make sure you all can see and hear me okay. So first, what I want to do is read some scripture for us. That's the best place to start our day. So I'm going to read from the book of John. Our journal club is in the book of John now, and I'm just really enjoying pulling out a lot of great verses from there. So I'm going to read John chapter 6, and I'm actually going to read verse 35 and then verse 51. Verse 35 says, "And Jesus said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst." Verse 51 says, "I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever. And the bread that I will give is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world." Oh, good. Anita says she can hear me well. And hey, Bonnie. Hi, Preston. Good morning. So glad to see you guys on today. And this is going to be a fun journal page because we're doing basically making our own tracer. And so oftentimes when we do a journal page, I have a tracer printed out. It will look something like this. And then we can use that as our tracer for the journal page. But I made my own tracer today, and I'll just show you how I did that. And if you guys want to do that, you can too. Okay, and oh, hi, Preston. I see your little wave coming through. That's awesome. Okay, so what I did is I actually just opened up my browser on my computer, and I Googled shape of Ireland or Ireland shape of country. And I know it's like recognizable to people who are from there, but it wouldn't be like easy to recognize for me. So I went and looked it up. And this is the shape that I came up with. Whoops. So all I did was I took this piece of paper and I laid it over my screen, which you should be very gentle with. You don't want to hurt your screen on your computer, so just be careful. But I literally just traced this very gently on the screen because my screen glows, and so it creates like a light box. And I've showed you guys that before, but if you have a shape that you really just can't get down and you don't want to print or whatever, you can just take your piece of paper, lay it over your screen, and trace that out. So that's pretty cool. So that's how I created my tracer for today. So I'm going to go ahead and work on how I'm going to use this to go onto the journal page. So if you're new watching or you haven't watched our lives before, we are now doing full journal pages every Friday. So if you like doing art journaling or you want to hear a little bit more about it, go ahead and catch us on Fridays at 10:30 Pacific, 12:30 Central, and 1:30 Eastern. So I'm going to set this aside for now and show you how I'm going to create the basically stencil that we're going to use to be able to use this. So what I've got is my masking tape, and this is just blue masking tape. You guys probably have seen this if you, excuse me, if you've ever painted anything like walls or whatever. So that's exactly what this is, just blue masking tape. And I'm just going to take this and basically I'm going to make a sheet of it. And you know, I've looked up before, I'll have to do a little bit more digging, and I'm sure it exists, but I have looked up masking tape pages, like pages of masking tape, and that would be a really fun thing to have. You could actually print your tracers on that if you could. And then the other thing I'm going to grab is basically a piece of packaging. So I have these stickers that I got, which I really love. I won them from a prize over at what is the name of her place? It's another wonderful artist, Deb Brown. She had a giveaway. And so this little package is plastic. And I just wanted to show you how to use this because a lot of times I will use plastic sleeves from binders, but you could use just regular packaging. So I thought I'd just grab this so you know you can use something like recyclable like this. See, this is just some packaging. So I'm going to take this packaging. Let me grab my, where did I put my my scissors? Did I grab those? I'm gonna grab my scissors real quick, y'all. And all I'm gonna do is basically just use the sheet of plastic to create my shape. So I'm gonna take this packaging and first off cut it open so that it is a one big sheet of plastic. So I'm just gonna go down the side of it here and use my scissors and cut that. And then across the top as well. So I'm opening it up just like, you know, if you were opening up a piece of like a trash bag or something. I'm gonna take the sticker off so it's not distracting to me. And then it has my name written on it, so that's what that is. And then all I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to layer the masking tape in layers on this piece of plastic. What's nice is it's kind of sticking right there. Okay, so what you're gonna do is just layer to try to make, the goal is to make a sheet of masking tape. So I'm actually gonna take a little bit of masking tape and stick this down to hold it in place so it stays. And while I'm doing this, tell me what your plans are for the weekend, you guys. My birthday is on Sunday, so I am working on what we'll be doing that day. I really want to take family pictures. That's like one of the things I want to do. So I think we might do that. Just get some fun family pictures. I'm a big picture person. I don't know. Are you guys picture people? You like, you know, getting pictures, or I'm the person who's like, okay, before anybody leaves, let's get a picture. And I used to not be that way, but as time has gone on and I have had, you know, different family members move away or pass away or whatever, I just really treasure pictures now. And so I'm big on that. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take this tape and lay it down onto this piece of plastic. So this is nothing complicated, just making literally like a sheet of masking tape. And then I'm going to take it and overlap it just a little bit with the last layer. Just like that. Tell me if you guys can see that well, so that I know that the camera is clear. So when we were in Washington, I got to spend a lot of time with my little cousins. It was really fun because they're not camera shy, and a lot of kids are. And so you can't really get good pictures of them unless you're really sneaking, and they end up kind of weird. So, oh, Bonnie, thank you. That's really sweet. So I was really excited because I could video them, and they weren't like super shy about it or anything, which is nice because then you end up with fun, cute videos. And the second oldest, which is also the second youngest, I guess the middle child, she was wiggling her tooth while I was up there. And so I got a video, and I'll tell you about it in just a second. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my, Bonnie says she loves pictures, but her hubby not so much. You know, I don't know. There are some guys that really don't like pictures. I think they have to grow up with it being like, okay. Yeah, because I found that too. I think they don't want to come across vain or like, I don't know, focused on their appearance too much, at least with some guys that I know. Whereas girls tend to notice their appearance more, and so they don't seem to mind as much. Some girls, not all of them. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my tracer to trace this onto the masking tape. That's basically my goal. So I'm going to lay this carbon paper or graphite paper down onto the masking tape. So this is a flat surface, and I'm going to take the colored side. So there's like a soft side that has no pigment on it, and then there's a colored side, and I'm going to take that and lay it down, and I want to center it up pretty good. Go ahead and do like that, and then I'm going to take my little piece of paper, which you can tell is my scratch paper because it has little bits cut out of it, and center that up on my page, on my tape, and then just take a pencil or any writing utensil that's pointy enough to get those shapes, and go ahead and cut that out. So if you have like a Cricut cutter, or a any kind of like computer program that's hooked up to a cutting machine, that you can just cut this shape out. Like, it's super easy. But I want to show you guys, like, you could do this without having all those extra supplies, because especially if you're just doing this for yourself and it's not like a business, or you're not doing it in mass quantities, you may not want to invest in something huge. And so this is a way to get fun shapes without having to really, really work at it. So now look at that. Isn't that amazing? It's just a super easy way to get a shape cut out. Okay, so now what I'm You know what, guys? I'm going to pause the broadcast for a minute and I will be right back. I'm getting a call, so just 1 second. Let me stop this for a second. Oh, now I think you can hear me. Can you hear me now? Are we the only two on today? Okay, Anita, can you tell me if you can hear me well right now? I just want to make sure that that you can hear me and that we're good to go for the stream today. And I apologize for jumping off there for just a second. That was family of my friend who's not been doing well, and I wanted to make sure I did not miss that call. So, and they are in the middle of taking care of him right now. So I do apologize, but thank you guys so much for letting me jump off. And I'm just going to get myself set back up. Leslie Ann, can you? Oh, Anita says she can hear me. Okay. I apologize for that. Thank you guys so much for being patient. We'll come right back to this journal page, but I wanted to make sure that that I was there to hear them. I'm not sure if you guys could hear me when I was muted, but I apologize for that. Alrighty, so we'll get right back to the journal page, and what we're going to do is actually cut out this little shape of Ireland. So the way that I'm going to do that, now this is kind of tacked down to the page right now. I'm just going to pull this piece of plastic up and off, and I'm just going to cut it out, but I don't want to wreck the outside because the outside is actually what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to take my scissors and cut a straight line straight to the shape of Ireland like that. Can you guys see that right there? See that little split? And then I'm going to cut all the way around this shape like this. Go ahead and cut that out. And then I'm going to go all the way around. So while I'm cutting this out, I will tell you, Leslie Ann says, no, I couldn't hear you on call. Okay. So I'm not sure if you mean that you couldn't hear me while I was off or what, but I had a call come through, so I'm not sure if you guys could hear me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is cut this all the way out. And while I'm cutting it out, I want to tell you what we videoed at my cousin's house. So my little cousin, the middle cousin, she was losing her tooth. She was wiggling it. And she was just desperate to get that tooth out before I left. She was like, what would happen if I lost my tooth while you're here? It was super cute. And so I was like, oh, that would be really, really cool. But I really didn't think it was loose enough. But she knew we would be leaving. And so I think it was the night before we left or something like that. And so she worked on that, like after dinner. She kept running over to the bathroom and grabbing a paper towel and like wiggling it. She was really working on it. So finally she looked like she was getting it pretty loose, but she wouldn't wiggle it one way because she kept kind of going this way, but not this way. And so finally I got done with one of the girls and I said, here, let me help you. And so she's a little bit like, oh, like don't touch it or whatever. And I said, I will not make it hurt. I'll try not to make it hurt. And I won't pull it myself, like on purpose. I want you to have the fun of pulling it. And so that made her a little bit more comfortable. And she let me kind of wiggle it a little and wiggle it a little. And then she wiggled it a little. And meanwhile, I am videoing. Like I said, they're not camera shy. So I was like, do you care if I video it? So I am videoing and I'm like, okay, let me see if I can wiggle. And she's like, okay. And so I wiggle. And then I hold the camera out and kind of back up. And she takes her paper towel and wiggle. And then she goes, got it. Like really matter of fact, like just like, got it. I was like, no, like, I got it. And she got excited afterwards, but she was kind of like, oh, got it. Okay. And I got it on video. I was so excited. So I'm a big picture and video person. And to catch that on video was so fulfilling. Okay. So what I've done is I've created a little stencil, as you can see. And I'm going to take my journal page and come to the next page. And I'm going to use this as a stencil. So the way that I want to do that, because I am going to work with watercolors, is I'm going to pull this tape off. But what I think I need to do before I do that is just put some tape across the front of it this way so that it doesn't come apart, because these are like multiple pieces of tape stuck together. So I'm just going to put some like reinforcement tape, I guess, if you want to call it that, across the top in several places like this. I can go diagonal like this. It doesn't really matter because it's just holding this kind of together. And then I'm going to pull this tape off. Hopefully I can get this little piece to stay. So I just kind of stuck some extra pieces of tape to hold it in place. And I'm going to pull this tape off. And actually, if I start from this side, it'll be easier. In layers. So yeah, starting from this side is much easier because that's the side that I started on when I was layering it. So I'm just going to pull it off of this plastic carefully. Super carefully. You don't want to tear it because you've just spent all that time making that really great shape. Okay. My plastic is tearing just a little bit. Isn't that terrible? Oh, that's a terrible joke. Okay. Hey, Valerie, I'm so sorry you didn't get a notification. That is weird. But just so you know, Valerie, if it is one of our lives for Artworthy Life, just on the public page, it will always be at 10:30. Or let's see, if you're on Eastern, it would be 1:30. Okay, so there's my little stencil. I do want to make sure these two pieces connect. So when I get this laid down, I will make sure those connect really well. But I'm going to go ahead and just put this on the lower right-hand corner. And I'm going to just be careful to get this line straight. And kind of go like that. And now I'm going to push down. Now look, I've basically created like a sticker stencil that I can push down all these little detailed edges and all of that down like that. All the little detailed edges, just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and push that down. And then I'm using my eraser because I got a little bit of pencil marks all the way around. So now I have a little stencil with the shape of Ireland basically on my page. So now I'm going to take my water brush. I have these little water brushes you guys can pick up online or in store. And I'm going to use my watercolor paints. If I didn't just set them aside somewhere. Whoops. Oh, there they are. Like, where did I put them? Okay. So these watercolor paints are my Mozart set, Como Rebbe Mozart set. And I'm just going to grab some green. So I'm going to make the shape of, or the colors of the Irish flag. And I'm just going to go green in a straight line like this, like this. And then on this middle section, I'm going to leave that white, and then I'm going to take orange. This is number 06, and a little bit of the number 10, if you happen to have this palette. So I'm going to take a little bit of orange. Oops, can you guys see that? Orange. And then I'm going to start over here and kind of fade this orange into the middle as well. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to clean my brush off and kind of make this edge sort of soft if I can. Maybe not so much. It looks like it wants to stay nice and stiff. Okay, and now before I get done with that, I'm going to take a pen. I'm going to use my gold metallic pen. This is one of the pens that came in as part of the Happy Mail. And I'm just going to outline this whole shape of Ireland just to really make it pop, because that white won't show up super well without some help. And my paint is wet. If I was not live, I would wait till my paint was not wet. But I'm just going to go ahead and do this right along the paint edge right here, and it will pick up some of that color, just like that. Okay, and I also want to come in on this little angle right here to make sure, basically I'm outlining the whole shape so that I don't lose it when I pull the tape off. Okay, and I'm kind of cleaning my brush off on the rag over here to make sure I don't pick up too much paint on my felt tip of this pen. I said brush, but I meant pen. So there is my shape of Ireland. I clean that off really well so my tip is nice and clean. And now, oh yeah, you're welcome, Valerie. And that's weird that you're not seeing comments, you guys. I'm not sure why that is. That's really weird, but I am seeing your comments. So, all right, now I'm going to pull my paper off and check this out. Okay, it bled through a little bit there, but really, for the most part, I got the whole shape. Let me pull my masking tape all the way off. Ta-da! Just like that. Isn't that neat? Look at that. Look at that shape. It looks really cool in watercolor. So that's basically what I wanted to show you guys today. I'm going to go ahead and write the date on here. I'm going to use my green pen, and I'm just going to write it down here in the right-hand corner. Let's see. Is this? Yes. Okay. March 19th. I'm going to use some like curly handwriting. March. And I'm going to do 19th. And then with my Fudenosuke pen, I'm just going to write Irish across the top of here. And then I'm going to leave the page basically like that so that I can do a bunch of journaling in it. But I'm going to write, let's see, what's my favorite type of I? I have to think about it. My last name is Irish, so I've had a lot of practice writing this word, which is probably not Probably doesn't mean I'm any better at writing it. Okay, here's my I. And then, or maybe I should write Ireland. I'll write Ireland. That'll be a bigger word. It'll fill up the page better. Ireland. All right, so that's basically the gist of what I wanted to do for this journal page today. I'm going to use a straight edge and probably put a border on it. So let's see. Let me show you how I'm going to do that. Which one? You can use pretty much anything for a straight edge. I'm going to use my little piece of my little watercolor book that has all my watercolor paper in it. I'm just going to use my green micron pen and put a little border. I feel like borders make a page look finished. This one doesn't need much. I may just do 2 on the sides here. We'll see how that looks. Yep, just like that. And then, you know, I think I want little places to journal. So I'm going to use my round masking tape, and I'm going to put a few little sections to journal in. Maybe like, I'm going to do one like this. Just a little round section right here. And then I will put another one to journal in, and maybe one right here. Like that. So basically, like, give myself little sections to journal in. Can you see that? If I go like this, it'll look really framed in. So maybe I can come up over the top like that. So give myself some little sections to journal in like this. And then I'm going to do a little flag. So you guys have seen my flags before, but I'm going to do a little flag right here that's going to say prayer or pray. Well, the word prayer fits. I'm going to do a flag there. And then I'm going to do a flag here, which works perfectly because this whole page has a flag on it, basically. This one's going to say the word. And then down here, because you guys know I usually have a to-do list on my page, I'm going to put another little flag that says to do right there. So there's my little flags. It almost reminds me of a map because there's like these little checkpoints, dink, 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 and then there's this big piece of Ireland right there. All right, so that's all I'm going to do today. I hope you guys enjoyed that live. Let me turn this way so you guys can see this a little better. Isn't that a fun page? I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's see, Valerie says, after keeping a tight school schedule with kindergartners, I never know what time it is now that I'm retired. Yeah, that has to be really, really hard. I'm so glad you guys were able to get back on. I apologize for the little pause, but I'm glad that we were able to pick right back up and finish this journal page. And if you go ahead and try to make a stencil like this, show me what you end up making. And remember that you can use the negative and the positive. So now I have this little Ireland shape. Uh-oh, did I do Ireland upside down? I hope I didn't. I don't think I did. No, I did upside up. Yeah, see, that's how much I know. Okay, so I want to make sure. And now I have this shape of Ireland that I can use on another journal page. So you might see that live at some point too. All right, thank you guys so much. And God bless you. Take care. Enjoy your weekend. And I will see you next week. Bye.